Good morning to everyone. Hi, welcome to this VIS webinar. Today we are going to talk about a Master in Cooperation and Development, our favorite Master in Cooperation and Development, which is the one which takes place at the University of Pavia in Pavia, Italy. I welcome you all. I can see some names that I recognize as VIS students, but I can also see some new students or new persons that are applying to this webinar, and we hope that for everybody this session will be interesting in knowing something more about the Master. I remind you all that this session is recorded so that you will receive a link through which you can see again this webinar, so that in case you miss some part of it or some important information, you will find there. And I can also tell you that you will be able to speak by yourself, okay? So you will be able to ask any questions you want during this session. Actually, not during the session, but I will ask you to prepare your questions and ask your questions at the end of the presentation, just to not to interrupt what our guests will tell you today. Okay, so I will go forward if everything is all right with you, and I can see yes. I will present our speakers today, which are Gianni Vaggi on the right-hand side of your screen, who is the director of the Master in Cooperation and Development. And hi, Gianni. And then in the middle, you see Maura Viezzoli, who is Hi. President of CISP, which is one of the 3 NGOs partner of the Master course. And so let's say the organization of the webinar is as follows. So Gianni will introduce the story and what is the Master and the main characteristics of it. And then Maura will give us the NGO perspective in this adventure, let's say. Okay, so Gianni, the floor to you. I remind that you can, sorry, I forgot to tell you that you can ask your questions either writing them in the questions label, or you can click on the hand, you can raise your hand, and I will give you the floor at the end of their presentation. Okay, so which will be, I think it will last, I think, about half an hour or so, and then you have the time for the question and answer session. Okay, so Gianni, the floor to you.
Thank you very much, Gabriella. Good morning again to all of you, and thanks a lot for being with us. Here I will be giving you just a short introduction about the story a bit also of this master program, which, as you can see from these slides, started many years ago. It was academic year 97-98 when we started. And I know that this slide is a bit complicated. There are too many symbols, but in a sense, you know, the symbols you see on your left, the University of Pavia, youth, and the 3 NGOs, are the institutions which really started this program. As Maura remembers very well, we planned this program, of course, in 96, beginning in May 96, to have an academic year the following year. On your right, you see the Cooperation Development Network, because from the very beginning we thought, okay, let's try to offer Italian students or international students an opportunity here in Pavia, and we had the support of all the local institutions, but at the same time we thought immediately we have to partner with universities, institutions in the developing world, so to speak, in order to be able to share this experience. And the institutions that you see on the right, the first one, of course, is UNESCO, which has given us its patronage, and we are part of the UNESCO network. And then you have the University of Bethlehem, Palestine University, Midwestern University in Nepal, Cartagena de Indias, Universidad San Buenaventura, and Kenyatta University in Kenya, in Nairobi. And of course, with the great support of the Italian cooperation from the very beginning. So, you know, this was the idea, okay, let's give an opportunity to our students, to our young people here in Italy, but that the field is international cooperation, cannot be restricted just to us. We want to know more, to learn more. Sorry, this is, okay. And in fact, from the very beginning, our idea was, together with the 3 NGOs, it's a partnership. It's a partnership which means we, academic people, we will do what we know, so to speak, and the practical aspect of the issue and the more field-applied type of research will be taken care of by those who are experts on the NGO. So I can say that really we are still sharing this very same attitude, even today, after so many years. I'm very happy that Mauri is here with us, because she has been one of the founding members of this initiative from the very beginning. If Gabriella, you can run the slides on, okay, you can go to the second slide. Gabriella.
I'm here, Gianni. Can't you see it?
Yes.
No.
No, I don't see it.
One.
You don't see my slide, my screen.
No.
Can I ask all the others if you can see the screen? Or Gianni, you see the screen at the first slide, or you don't see any screen?
I see the first slide only.
Okay. I will try to set this. Anything new?
No.
Gianni, do you have the PowerPoint open? Maybe I can give it to you. If you open it, I can let you share your screen.
Okay. The problem is that, you know, I'm not very familiar with this type of tools, and
it's okay. You just open the presentation.
okay. I have to get out of the webinar, however.
Ah, no.
No, dove vado a prendere? Where do I go to get the slides?
Let's do now. Can you see mine?
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
The second, yes.
You can go.
No. So you see the second slide. I see only part. Okay. But they can see me now.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, in the second slide, you see 2 people who are no longer with us, you know, but since we really think that, how to say, if you put that in place, something like cooperation, and you are an institution, an NGO or the university, you have to remember, you know, these type of things. I think you can work on the future if you have a memory from the past, and that's why whenever it's possible, we always remember Paolo Giorgi and Paolo Dieci from COPI, Paolo Giorgi and Paolo Dieci from CISP, who are no longer with us, but they have been really so much important in all these activities here in Pavia, and not only, but also in Africa and Latin America. So Gabriella, if you can go on with the slide. Okay, this is the first brochure, the first call that we had many years ago, and it was run by the University of Pavia and the University Institute of Advanced Study, USE, and it also had, from the very beginning, the name was in English, because our idea was really to be open to beyond the Italian border. Let's go on, Gabriella, grazie. This is where the Cooperation Development Network is. As you can see, it's started in Pavia, of course. Then in 2003, we went to Cartagena, thanks to COPI in particular, then to Bethlehem in 2005. And from 2013, we are in Nairobi, and that is where CISP and Mauro in particular, they've really been working hard on that. And then also in Kathmandu. And Kathmandu is the outcome of the effort of a former student, a Nepalese student, Prakash, who really made a big effort, and he managed to open a similar program in Nepal. So at the moment, it's true, we have a master program in cooperation and development here in Pavia, but we also think of this program as part of this network, okay? All right, over the years, you see how many students they have been part of this program in the different master program. And we exchange students, we exchange internship possibilities, and also we do exchange lecturer, which is not always easy. And now we are on an online modality of teaching, everyone, of course, in the universities, but of course, whenever we can, we try to exchange these experiences physically and not just, how to say, online. Okay, Gabriella. Okay, this is the scientific committee of the program. So you see there are colleagues from the University of Pavia, but also from the very beginning, there have been colleagues from the 3 Italian NGOs, CISP, VIS, and COPI, and we really share all decisions together. You know, we meet 3-4 times a year, and we really take all decisions together. And from a couple of years, the Collegio Borromeo of the University, or part of the University of Pavia, it's a old college, is also part of the program. And Don Alberto Lolli is director of the college, is also a member of the scientific committee. Okay, thank you. There are teachers, a lot of teachers, you know, many from the University of Pavia, but also a lot of teachers from abroad. Here you can see the curriculum, the basic curriculum of the program, the teaching modules, and of course the European Credit Transfer system, what we call ECTS. You might notice that, you know, the whole program is not 60 ECTS, which is the standard academic year in Italy or in Europe, in fact, because the program is a bit longer. The program starts in November 1 year and finishes January 2 years later, which means basically it's 15 months full time for the program. And so you have here 4 blocks of different topics which are being taught here in Pavia. Then together with these scheduled classes, so to speak, we have seminars and presentations by former students, by professionals in the field, these training and seminars. Okay, I don't know, this year I think we had 15 or 16 different presentations. Then there is a period of internship, and then there is a thesis. So the whole period, as I said, and the hours that you see there, that gives you an idea. It's really full time. You have to be here. And grazie, Gabriella, if you can go on. Okay, this gives you the timing. So as I said before, we start in November, and let's say November 2020, okay? And this program, which is the 24th course, will end in January 22, in fact, okay? Following the 4 blocks, modules, there is a written exam, okay? And classes are compulsory. Of course, if you cannot attend some classes, that is possible, but it has to be justified. So there are written exams. That is, as you see, it's in red, of course, because all the teaching, but including the exams, we take it very seriously. Training and seminars, presentation by professionals, coming from all over the world of cooperation, are all along the year. And of course, internship and thesis, they are July to January. Is there something more, or it's now past?
Gianni, just as all the others can see, there are, well, 3 components basically in the curriculum, talking about the residential part in Pavia, which is basically economics, preliminary and development economics, and then project cycle management, and then the different issues about geopolitics and development. Why there is so much attention on economics on the university side?
Yeah. Well, there are 2 very simple reasons. The first reason, it's quite frankly, for all of you, is that, when we met many years ago, 4 years ago for this program, most of the people in the University of Pavia which were interested into the program, they, in fact, people are doing development economics themselves. They are development economists. We are at least, we were 4 in those days, then we are more now. And so we said, okay, what can we, no, teach is a wrong way, it's a wrong word. In which way we can help these young people if, the only way is by trying to share with them what you're really working on and And that is why, of course, the friends from NGOs, they are much more experienced in terms of managing a program and a project. But the other reason was, and I think it still is, 24 years later, in our tradition in Italy, and sometime also a bit in Europe, there is a lot of attention dedicated to the issue of cooperation, but coming from different fields, coming from international relations, from anthropology, history, sociology, and so on and so forth. Now the situation is a bit improved, and of course there are courses also in different faculties which give you an input in development economics. But we thought, it was important also to be able, okay, let me put it this way. When you get out of this program, you should be able to read, understand, and comment and criticize all major international reports, even if they come from the World Bank, okay? Because cooperation is not just bringing food or teaching people how to produce food. There are huge debates in terms of policies, and mind you, because of this pandemic, the issue of what international cooperation will be from now on, and the policy debates and the issues which involve a lot of economic decisions will be more and more, and it will be probably even more relevant for all developing countries, not only for the countries who have been affected by coronavirus. So this is basically how we started. Of course, we changed a few things during the 3 years. And one thing that I also would like to say, at the beginning, we were teaching Italian and English. We were using both languages, mainly Italian, but from 2001, yes, the whole program is taught in English. And of course, when you open the network, the exchanges in the network, they are all done in English. All the other 4 programs are done basically in English. And this is, as I said before, it was a name from the very, very beginning that, try to bring this experience to other academic institutions, to other partner NGOs.
Thank you, Gianni. Along with theory, with economic theory or economic, or let's say applied theory that you teach at the master, There is also practice, and in particular, we see in number 3, the module on project cycle management, which is a very practical module, which talks about how to write to have an idea, to write a project, and so on and so forth. I would ask Maura to give us an overview of this module, which is very particular because it's taught by NGO professionals within a master course, okay, as you were saying, Gianni. So please, Maura, the floor to you. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Gabriella, and thank you, Gianni. Okay, before going, if you allow me, Gabriella and Gianni, before going into the PCM part, I would like to follow what Gianni was saying, underlying a couple of things that give you the idea that why NGOs are involved in this program. Okay, what we like theoretically, not practically, in this program is, first of all, the human development approach of this program, what Gianni was saying, that is completely inside the Agenda 2030. So we updated just a few years ago the program in order to be inside the discussion that is ongoing for what concerns the SDGs. Second is the approach of inclusive development cooperation. We really strongly believe that development cooperation must be inclusive. Inclusive means that you need to take into consideration the marginalized groups, not only, but to include the marginalized group in the society. And that's also why, Gianni, I think that we have so many scholarships that allow also young people that cannot afford to come to the master course in Italy, and that allow them to come and to follow the course. The third aspect that I really like very much about this master course is the network. To be in a network in 5 continents allow the students to be interconnected with other students of similar master courses in 5 continents, and also to travel for internships in other continents, and also to implement research all together. This is really an added value. The last is the multi-stakeholder approach. Gianni already underlined that. From our point of view as NGOs, this means that really NGOs, this is the only master course where the NGOs are inside, is completely inside, not only in the planning of the courses, not only in the didactic activities, but are really taken, let's say, into consideration as stakeholder in the didactic offer. Why? Because we, since the beginning, in the first discussion about this master course, we understood that development is a complex issue. It's very complex. We need theory. We need people that spend all the life studying development economics, human development, climate change, etc. But we also need people that spend their whole life in trying to find solutions for people that are poor, in poor countries, that are really facing the consequences of the development economics policies. Okay, so this matching, this marriage, let's say, because it's really a very long alliance now. It's a mutual recognition of the value of our way of looking at development. And from what concerns our perspective, what we we try to put in this master course is this 100 and well, it depends on the year, but it's this project style, these two, well, our contribution is in two parts. One is in the project cycle management part. This in the between April and June, and the fourth part of the master course, that is the internships. Okay, for what concerns the project cycle management part, the aim of this didactic part that are taught from practitioners, not only, but from practitioners that come from NGOs, from international organizations, foundations also. The aim is that to give the students the knowledge and the competence to use concepts and tools to identify, write, implement development and emergency projects. This is done through different courses. The first, what we call the project cycle management, number one is on contextual aspects. The project cycle management 2 is on mainly on logical framework and project cycle management and all logical framework and resource and monitoring and evaluation practice. And the fourth part is on specific sectoral issues that may change during the years, like migration, human rights, etc. This project cycle management part is composed by an approach that is both theoretical and very practical. Okay, so give you the opportunity to really learn how to write. Okay, how to write a project and how to understand and to understand also how to what are the main elements for the formulation and for the implementation of a real project. Then there is the last part. I don't know, Gianni, if you want to introduce the internship part. That is quite very important, or okay. One of the well, we can say with Gianni and also Gabriella, it's many years that we are carrying on this adventure, let's say, and we know how difficult it is to continue trying to find the opportunities for the students to go on field. It's very difficult, but we really believe in that. It is very important that the students spend between 3 and 6 months on field, mainly with NGOs and governmental cooperation, but also with international organizations, also organizations that deal with development research. Okay, usually the students start the internships in July, but of course this year is different according to the COVID emergency, but they will in any way spend their time on field for the internships. Okay, I don't know. I don't know, Gianni, if you want to, yes.
Gianni, do you want to add something?
No, just a very simple thing. The fact that quite correctly Maura mentioned the vision or the view that we all share about development and also development cooperation, because I forgot, quite frankly, to tell you that at the beginning. Thank you very much, Mauro. No, because basically I would say, remember that we started in 97, 98, and the program was flashed, so to speak, even before 96. We all shared, the professors, so to speak, here in Pavia, but also the friends from NGO, the view of development as human development, as it was in those days. Remember that now we have the Sustainable Development Goals, and we talk a lot and work a lot on the SDGs. But when we started, we didn't even add the Millennium Development Goals, okay? If I had to tell you what is the main, how to say, vision behind all the work that we do in all different courses and also in the internship, I would call it is the vision of sustainable human development. This is the way in which I would define. And you know, now we have Sustainable Development Goal 17, the last one, which is about global partnership. From the very beginning, for us, international cooperation, development cooperation was not just about writing projects or managing projects, which of course is a tool, but the vision is the vision of partnership, of course, okay? Then this is from where how we all feel, and probably the reason that, you know, we are still working together after so many years, and we have been working also with these friends in the developing world, it is because we share those two visions and approaches. Development is sustainable human development, and cooperation is partnership. That's all.
Thank you, Gianni. Maura, I just wanted to show this last slide, which is even a step forward. The master as a whole, as a didactic component, of course, at the residential part, as you said, and has the internship part, and this is like a step forward in finding a job. Okay, these are statistics that we took from the alumni, as you can see, alumni answers. Maura, is there something you can explain through this slide, maybe? Where are people working?
Okay, I don't have the number actually, the numbers, but I have I have the arrows here.
It gives you the scale.
The orange, yes, the orange is this slide shows us that the most of the students that come finish with success the master, they work with NGOs, and I can say, Gabriella, that nowadays really a lot of students coming from the masters, including yourself, they come from the master, different years of the master, even here in Rome, but also abroad. Many students after the internship, they started working with us, and then they just simply continued working with the different NGOs, not only the 3 NGOs that are in partnership with the university, but also the other many NGOs that offer internships in the internship program in the course. Then the second best is international organizations, because of course international organizations also need people that are skilled and with the vision, but also with tools. So most part of the students go to work with international organizations, and also governmental development institutions. And then I think that for what concerns university research institutes, etc., the percentage is lower, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. This was just to give the idea of which kind of institutions our alumni work now. Of course, you're right, they are missing numbers, but gives you the idea of the shares in a way. Okay. Thank you, Maura. I don't know, I will open the question and answers session if you'd like. I can see some hands that are asking for the voice. So I will, let's say, I will start. Let's see if this is a real hand up. Abu Bakar, I don't know, I can open your, if you have your microphone. Let's see if he has. Don't think, maybe not. Abu Bakar, if you have any questions, you can either switch on your microphone if you have one, or you can write your questions. I would go to Federica. Let's see. Federica, can you hear us? Federica? Let's see. Her microphone is open, but maybe she doesn't hear us. I don't know. Same thing for you. If you want to write down the question, you can. I would go on reading a question this time from Giovanni. Okay, Giovanni. He's asking if there is a special background that someone has to have to enroll to the master. Either Gianni or Maura, one of the two.
Please, Gianni.
Okay. No, that's a very good question, Giovanni. Thank you, because I had forgotten a lot of things. Okay, getting old. No, it's no. You know, this is something that we asked ourselves many times, but we, from the very beginning, and we're still going on with that. We take students from different backgrounds. This is a second level master program. So if you are from Italy, you need the laurea specialistica, 5 years. From abroad, of course, it's only 4 years necessary, because that's the old Italian laurea was 4 years. So we still, but from any type of background, any type of field, and you know, it is working, and because that also makes that you are in a class not only with people coming from different countries, of course, different regions of Italy or Europe, but they also have different backgrounds. Now, today, this year, the 23rd edition, we have 2 engineers, 1 nutritionist, 1 anthropologist, 2 economists, 1 in international relations, 1 in history, and also 2 or 3, I forgot, in law. Okay, and so no, we take application from. Remember that all those who apply, there is a first screening on the CV. Okay, but mainly we try to interview all of you. Okay. Either in presence in Pavia, but this year will be for everyone online. And we always try to have an interview with the person who has applied. And that is, at least in my experience, but Maura and Marcel and Gabriel have been with us. I mean, that these interviews, you know, apart from the CV, they can really tell you a lot. Giovanni is done.
Yeah, no, he's there. Maura, do you want to add anything else?
No, just to say that I think that going to the unique experience that the students will have in Pavia to share different an international environment with people coming from different backgrounds is really enriching. This is what the students tell us. Okay, so it's really enriching because of course the vision on development that an anthropologist may have is very different from the one from an expert in nutrition. No, it's so, and it's, but it's we are talking about development anyway, so it's really interesting, very important.
Okay, thank you. Giovanni is still asking another question on the example of typical day during the residential part. I mean, I think he wants to know if it's a full-time program or not. Again, one of the two, as you wish.
Full time, very full time, meaning that, you know, every day, the morning, and sometime when, you know, the other thing that is important, it's at the beginning, if you join us, if you come, you will have teachers mainly from the University of Pavia. Let's say November, December, January, you know, your teachers will be mainly from the University of Pavia, a few others coming from other universities. But then from February, mid-February onwards, all your teachers, instructors, they will not be from Pavia. They will be from NGOs, Italian universities, foreign universities, but not only us. So it's a full-time program. And when we have these colleagues coming from abroad, the program is even more intense, because maybe you have to spend 6 hours, you know, classes. Mind you, classes does not mean that I come in class and I talk for 6 hours. I could do that, you remember that. But I mean, usually it's a lot of working groups. It's a lot of activities that usually we ask you to carry on and to do. But participation is to be is really important. And for the coming year, for the 24 edition, we plan to start on November the 16th in presence here in Pavia. If it will be really impossible to do that, okay, we have done now 4 months of online teaching with new tools and instruments, but our idea is to, because as Maura was saying before, allora, sorry, there is the instructor student or class component. But of course, because of the different nationalities, because of the different backgrounds, there is a lot of cross-sectional fertilization that takes place in class, which simply means that you will learn a lot one from the other. And that is really, we have seen that really happening, you know, for many years, which is, it's a joy. It's a very important thing, because not you all come from university experience. Sometimes it is there, it works, sometimes it is not. For the time being, we have been lucky here. And so full time, no part time.
Can I add something to what Giovanni was asking about the disciplines, the different disciplines? I would like to ask Gianni if he can explain, because at the beginning of the master course, we had people coming from disciplines, but they had difficulties in following the courses, let's say, more technical, no, mathematics, statistics, etc. That's why we decided to add at the beginning a part that is more concentrated on that. I don't know if it's important to explain it, I think.
Yeah, in fact, thank you. Let's say 16th of November until December, till Christmas, basically, it will be kind of, we call it preliminary economics, so it's a preliminary part in which we try to give also to those who are not coming from studies concerning economics, the background, the tools, the jargon, in the words which are needed in order to carry on the program, including also some quantitative notions, okay, which of course are important also in policy research and development cooperation. And quite frankly, I don't know, I remember a couple of students, girls, which coming from philosophy, they went, one of them in particular, she was from Milan in philosophy, she went and worked with the from the Human Development Report Office in New York for many years, preparing reports. So, you know, these are, at least in the past, that has happened.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Gianni. I think, sorry, Maura. Okay. I think we have a question. I think, Maura, this is for you from Renato. Renato, can you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I saw you wrote the questions, but maybe it's easier if you can ask the question yourself.
Yes, I just wanted to know how many of the master students are, after the internship, employed in the partners NGOs, and what these internships are about mostly, like about administration, project cycle management, or other topics. Thank you.
Well, I would say mainly everything. It depends on the attitude, the preference of the students, but also the need of the NGO. In fact, the matching between the students and the let's say in this case the NGO occur through a mutual knowledge of the CV, and also the NGOs offer let's say an internship project, okay, that allow the students to see if the need of the NGO fit with the desire and the attitude of the students. Okay, so yes, basically this. So you have, like, let's say, a list of internships with the description because as you may know, the University of Pavia has a formal agreement with every NGO about the internship. Okay, so you will have, of course, a formal procedure, okay, to apply for the internship, and also the NGO that accept the students need to follow you with a tutor, and also to, at the end, to give a formal evaluation of the internship. But the internship, let's say the internship can be an administrative one, so working practically on field, can be contributing to the implementation of a project, can be also carrying on a research project, a research activity. So it depends on the agreement between the students and the organization, with the mediation of university of the master course. And how many, I don't know the numbers. I don't know, Gabriella, if you can tell how many students during the years. I know many, but I don't know. I don't have the number. I don't remember in this moment.
I was looking if I can find through our slides some updated one. Look, I can see. Well,
because we know that the 85% find a job.
Yes, this is yes, this is more or less on average. This is, for example,
I don't know how many remain in the same with the same organization. No, that was the question.
Yes, later on we don't know. Yes, we don't have this number. Yes. There is another question still, because of course internships are one of our favorite internships, which are compulsory, of course. You cannot finish the program without a period spent on the field, let's say, whether the field is Italy or developing countries. Alice, let's see. Alice, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Do you hear me?
Thank you. So you have another question.
Yes,
so I give you the floor.
Yes, thank you very much. So as Miss Viezzoli said, like for young students and for young people, it's very hard to enter into NGOs and international organizations. Like since, let's say, since 10 years, the organizations are closing their doors to students that are out, let's say, from study programs for many reasons. And so for us, not being involved into, let's say, a study program, it's like for us, it's almost impossible to enter in NGOs, even to have unpaid, to participate to unpaid internships. So the main fear, let's say, for our generation is, as I asked in the question, is to spend time doing an internship that ends in itself, let's say. So I would love to ask you, like, what are the main features that we have to consider while we are choosing an internship during, of course, your master degree program, in order, let's say, to have the chance to continue to work in, not, let's say, in that organization, like specifically, but in general, like to stay on the field. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't agree completely with your pessimistic vision, because I don't think that the only way of getting into development cooperation job is through the master courses. There are many other ways to become volunteers, to become through United Nations, European Union, even civil service, in order to have a good experience and to start. Okay, but this is a different issue. Okay, this is a different issue. For what concerns the internship, is very we don't have a recipe. Okay, very often it's a combination of good quality preparation during the year that you stay in Pavia, so both theoretical and also the acquisition of concepts and tools. It's also to be able to find an internship with an organization that is not let's say it's traditionally in that country. Okay, this is if I may say something, this is important to have to choose an internship that is with an organization that know very well the country, that can give you a background, someone that can follow you. This means that the organization has also an office there and also a budget. So it's an organization that is that has different programs there. So it's also, of course, from this perspective, is easier in a way. Okay, but it's not granted. It's easier, but it's not granted. Also because I can also say that very often is also the personal characteristic that allow you to find a job in this field. It's not only something that you study, but it's also your personal attitude that is very important.
I wanted to add something about the internship, Gabrielle, but then if there are questions. No, because that's something that, you know, from the very, very beginning, as Maura was saying, I mean, the NGOs, they're not with us just to offer the internship. They take decision with us on everything concerning the program. But, and this is really from the very beginning, we decided that internships were extremely important. So there is one of us, Lorenzo Bianchi in particular, who is in charge of interviewing all the students during the year on one side. On the other side, he collects the internships possibilities for that year, because of course they change year after year. As Mauro was saying, maybe some organization who are based in a certain country, Kenya, they have a certain program running 1 year, another project in 3 years' time. But what Lorenzo does, and this is really on a mandate from the program, not on a personal basis, is really to try to match the students with the internships. And what we have always done is to look for internships for you. Then, of course, if you are already in touch with a certain NGO and we can get in touch, that is possible. And then to try to see how you can choose, so to speak, among these possibilities. So we do all we can in order to give you these opportunities. But as Maura was saying, remind yourself of one thing. When you are in Pavia, the residential part, there are people always around you in the secretariat. We have 2 people there, or the teachers, the class, you have exams. When you are on an internship somewhere in the world, you are with new people on your own. It's a not that you are alone, but you are not with your classmate, okay, any longer. All right. So that is also part of the training, in a sense. You don't have to be good students only and beautiful exams, but you have to find, to experience what you feel for yourself, and also let the other experience what you can perform, what you can give when you are working on the field, so to speak, on a project, okay? And then there is the thesis, which is the conclusion of the program. So it's a kind of complicated structure, but the internship is, of course, very important. I know I've not answered your question, Alice, but I cannot answer any.
Alice, should you have something else to do, you can raise your hand and I will give you the floor. In the meanwhile, I will be reading 2 more questions of people who cannot talk or speak, but I can read their questions. Caio Morelli Marquez, he thanks us for the brilliant webinar. I'm an Italian citizen who currently living in Brazil. Last year I got my bachelor's degree in international affairs, which has a duration of 4 years in Brazil. It corresponds to a laurea triennale in Italy. I know that it is a 2nd level master's, so I would like to get some advice from you, because I think, Gianni, this is very important as well. So he's asking, yes, should I study first the laurea magistrale and then the master? Or is it fine if I go directly to the master? First question. And still from Caio is regarding the internship. Is it done at one partner NGO or not necessarily?
Not necessarily, va bene.
Okay, so Gianni, these 2 first, and then I have another.
No, the first thing is very important. As I said, according to Italian law, in order to take part in this master program, you must have what we call laurea magistrale or specialistica. Is the 3+2 system, okay, the European system. You must have 5 years, so to speak. But, and this is the case, for instance, of a mature student this year, you know, before that system in Italy, we had 4 years for economics, international relations, history, and so on and so forth. So if you had a 4 years degree, university degree, that is also okay for to apply. And this is also the rule that we apply to foreign degrees, okay? So if your study was a degree in 4 years of university studies in international relations, that is okay to apply. Why this? Because of course the 3+2 system, the laurea magistrale system, is very much European. But if we go to other university systems, mainly they are 4 years, okay? In some cases, they are even 3. If you go to England, you might have a degree which is just 3 years. So now, if you come from a foreign university system, it's 4 years you need to have completed. You must have a degree, of course. And no, you can have an internship with one of the partner NGOs, or you can also have an internship with any other NGO or institution organization. But that there must be an agreement, an exchange of letters, so to speak, between the University of Pavia, the master program, and the NGO organization there, okay, so that we know exactly what you are going to do and who is going to be responsible, so to speak, of you when you are working there. Clear?
And last but not least, I still have, and still he cannot speak, but he wrote the questions, is Chaibu Buzu Mahaman Luali. I don't know where he comes from or she comes from. Hello, thanks you for this wonderful presentation. My question is to know whether the students, are the students that they choose where they want to pass to spend their time for the internship, or is the university that establish the place that you have to pass where you have to go for the internship?
No, I already answered, I think, but Gianni, yeah, please.
No, I mean, as I said before, we find internships, okay? You might also have your links, relations with, then you at the end of the day, you choose, of course, or be careful, you choose where you would like to go for your internship. Suppose you want to go and have an internship with Maura, CISP, which I don't recommend, but you can always try to do that, okay? No, I'm joking. But we will help you on that. The problem is, it will not be your case. The final approval of these internships comes from the institution, NGO, which is receiving you, okay? So we cannot impose on an NGO or any other institution, UN institution, to have this student. It's a channel, it's a way, all right? But for sure, we don't impose on the students a specific internship. Unless there are some decisions which are clearly illogical or impossible. You want to go and have an internship in administration in South Sudan and you don't have any idea of what, I mean, it's a matching program, but the final word on would I take or not this person as an intern for 6 months comes from the institution who is going to take you. We cannot even impose on them, of course.
Oh, and I would add, Gianni, that usually there is an interview.
Of course.
So we look at the CV, and also there is a direct, there is an interview with the person that is candidate to come on field for the internship. This is also for the international organization, I think, Gianni, no?
Yes, also for the international organization, but as you were saying before, international organization now, they have certain channels like UN volunteer, UN fellow, and, you know, then of course JPO. So many organizations, it's important if you know someone there, but, you know, usually for international UN system, World Bank, you have to follow those type of. But of course, when I was saying before, we have this training and seminars. These are really people coming from ILO, FAO, International Organization on Migrations, the UN Women, UNCTAD. So these are former students or not former. They can really, how to say, for instance, Hiba coming from Geneva, last week, she was just spending the whole afternoon giving advice, so to speak, on how to prepare a CV, what type of strategy to follow in this case, which doesn't guarantee anything, but it's you know, it's like sharing a knowledge, which in this case, Iba, she had with us many years ago. Gabriela, we have lost Abu Bakr and Federica. What happens to the two of them?
No, I asked the questions. They cannot talk. I don't know why. I think they don't have their microphone available, let's say. And I told also Federica if they want to write the questions, I can. She's still online, so if she wants to write a question, I can give her the floor. There is another one. Let's see. I think the foreigners problems with the microphone. Hello, my name is Lori Nchiri from Kenya. Do you have to have an offer letter from Pavia for you to apply for the scholarship, or does this master program come with the scholarship? Otherwise, thank you for organizing this webinar.
No, Lorin, ciao. We have 7 scholarships available for students coming from so-called developing countries, okay? And when you put in your application, basically you have to indicate whether or not you would be able to finance yourself or if you need the scholarships. Of course, decisions about scholarships are taken by the scientific committee. Basically, we will take this decision all together. That depends on the condition of the students, of the financial condition of the family, on the, how to say, also on the score, on the academic score of the students and all this. But basically, you have to apply for the scholarship. Of course, if you can also apply for other scholarships. Okay, it has happened in the past that, you know, if we admit you, maybe you have an alley, a way to apply for a certain scholarship. In that case, we might produce a letter of admission subject to you finding a scholarship. We have our own scholarship, but of course you are most, come si dice, most encouraged also for scholarships. Which in many cases they are available. It's a matter just to be informed from different foundations, Americans, European foundations.
Okay, if I may say so, if I may say something to Lorin, in case the process, I understand that is very interesting to come to Pavia to participate to the master course in Pavia, etc. If the process doesn't go well, or if you change your mind for some reason, please take into consideration that in Kenyatta University in Nairobi, there is a twin master course on human development that you can explore. Of course, it's not exactly the same, but it's very similar. And there also we have scholarships. So this might be an opportunity just to take into consideration. Of course, we are happy if you come to Pavia, but it's just to inform you, okay? You find information on MECOD, Master Cooperation,
Master in Economics, Cooperation and Human Development.
Esatto, Kenyatta University, Master of Economics, Cooperation and Human Development at Kenyatta University. Okay.
It's one of the partners.
They will also find all the information on Pavia and on the network, on the University of the Master in Pavia, which we are talking about today. But in general, of the CDN, the Cooperation and Development Network, that Gianni and Maura really well explained today to us on the website www.cooperationanddevelopment.org. Okay, from there you will see not only information from Pavia, but for the other polls that Gianni was explaining before. One very last, because we are here for 1 hour and 15 minutes, but I think this is interesting. This is Alessia asking which are the plans for next year. Gianni, you were already mentioning the didactics with reference to the pandemic, to COVID-19. Which are the plans for the future in this way?
Plans for the future are to improve, of course. we all need. Now, Alessia, ciao. As I said, we start classes here in Pavia on November the 16th. That's, you know, unless something really terrible happens. Our view is to try to do as much as we can to have all the students, not only from Italy, but also, of course, from abroad here in Pavia. If that were not in Collegio Borromeo, by the way, I forgot to say that if you wish to stay in Pavia, you can stay at Collegio Borromeo, which offers very, very good rates, full board, okay, for 8 months, so from November until June to those who don't have a scholarship, okay? You can check Collegio Borromeo very easily. It's an old college, 5 centuries old, with a lot of tradition, so you can also be hosted there, and we have classes there and in the university. If it will be really impossible to have classes in presence in November, of course, we will go online. We have done that since March. And so, you know, it is not, it is effective in a way, but is not very nice, because the problem is the class, okay? The class is you, much more than the instructors, than the teachers. And, you know, this year we had the students with us for 4 months. That, of course, because of the lockdown, they, by the way, the students from developing countries, they are still in Collegio Borromeo, because they were not able to go home in any case, okay? But the Italians, they went home from Sardinia to Sicily to Rome and so on and so forth. But we have been working every week with these online classes. But I am really confident that we will be able to be in presence and welcome you, if you wish, of course, on November the 16th.
Okay, thank you, Gianni. Thank you, Maura. I thank you all for being with us. I remind you that the website in which you can find any other information is www.cooperationdevelopment.org. That you can also write to EIS or to the email which you find in the contacts, cdn@unipv.et, okay, University of Pavia.et. To have any kind of information. The call is now open until the 30th of June. Am I right, Gianni?
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
30th of June. And something else is that we're going to have another webinar on the 18th of June. You will find out the link, the new link for the webinar on our Facebook, and on the Facebook of the Master and CISP and the other NGOs as well. During that webinar, which will be held in Italian, we will be interviewing one of the teachers of the course, who was herself, because it's a she, student of the Master, and a past student who is currently working for BIS since the Master. So I wait for you there, the Italian speakers. And for the English ones, I can give you another appointment. I think it's going to be around the 25th of June, in which we will be interviewing 2 current students, 2 or 3, let's see, current students, which will give tell you their experience during this particular year. So thank you, Gianni. Thank you, Maura. Thank you all for you for being with us, and I will send you the link to view again this webinar. Have a nice afternoon, and should you need any kind of information, please write.
Thank
Have
you.
a nice
Bye,
afternoon.
Gianni.
Bye.
Bye, Gabriella. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Gabriella, io mi stacco adesso.